Hi there, it's Johanna here with you, and I had a little video that I was just recently inspired to make. I've been watching some fragrance YouTubers who have been delving into the personal side of collecting perfumes slash having a perfume addiction or a spending addiction. And I just got some inspiration to share because I've been looking for the courage to share more about that aspect of it, of loving and loving and coveting and collecting perfumes and the whole process. I would love to get into more with you regarding just the endorphins that you get from rearranging items in your cart on whatever discount website or eBay or Mercari or wherever you are shopping, the dopamine rush that I get from adding things to my cart. And the way I feel after I make a purchase, and the way I feel the next morning, and the way I feel while I'm waiting for the perfumes to come, which usually take 10 days, which is somehow a strange cycle of time where by the time the perfume is arriving, I'm like feeling all these feelings and emotions. So anyway, I had a couple of perfumes that I bought recently that I wanted to just talk about a little bit today. As you can see, my channel is new and I appreciate any comments that you leave, questions that you have, ideas for other videos you'd like to see, and constructive feedback, really. Honest feedback, I'm going to say that. As a person who has sensitivity to, criticism, I'm going to say I appreciate critical, constructive feedback. Some of the perfumes that I recently purchased were this one, which was listed on eBay as Vintage Obsession by Klein for men. Now, some of you might know a little bit more about whether Obsession for Men ever came in this kind of a bottle, in a vintage, because I love this. I grew to love this, but it didn't take long. I love this. This is my favorite amber right now. So much so that since I'm getting down to 1/4, and when it's at 1/4, I have promised myself I will retire the bottle to its original box and have it in some kind of a display eventually once I get some shelves. Since I was getting low on this, which by the way is heavy on cinnamon, really nice amber, not too sweet of an amber, but there is vanilla in there. And it's just a really warm, cozy scent. It just feels like a very, very warm hug. I wear it even in the summer. I found that I really like it, and it lasts fairly well. Now, this could be a vintage bottle of Obsession for Women, and it may have been, because I know Obsession for Women comes in this type of a bottle. And you see here that the writing has worn off because, perfume gets on the outside and it's a dissolvent. Perfume is a dissolvent, so it dissolved the paint on there. So then recently I got a modern version of Obsession for Women by Calvin Klein. I got this about 3 or 4 days ago, and at first I felt like I didn't even want to open it because I was feeling bad about finances and I was feeling bad about purchasing this. So I didn't even feel like I could enjoy opening it. That took a few days, but I have been spraying it and I'm interested in what you guys think. This has something in it, and I'm not going to say animalic because I don't actually see it as civet, even though it is. But in my perfume materials that I use to make perfume, I have civet that does not smell like this. Civet smells like piss and I don't know if I can say that on YouTube. This smells more to me like it has this aspect of it that is, I think of as, I was going to say Costas, but indole. So this reminds me of indolic, and it's similar in that way to Femme by Roche. And I have the modern version of it, but I know Roche's Femme is what it's called. and it has that kind of indolic scent to it. It reminds me a little bit of a version of halitosis, but I know civet is listed as the note in here, so it must be civet. It must be a type of synthetic civet that they're using. But I don't like this as much. It's not as deep and rich, and it doesn't have the cinnamon. So since this is vintage and this is no longer available except if you buy a vintage bottle, which I'm looking for, a reasonable one that's less than $70, let's say. Because I bought this for $24 and I think I got quite a steal for it. So I'm looking around to see if I'm going to buy it. But in the meantime, I'm working on seeing if I can try and make something that smells similar to this for myself. And of course, it won't be the same because you can't get the formula for Obsession vintage. So I just came up with some things that I thought might smell like that. And I got something similar. I still have to see how it macerates, but I made it on July 31st. So we'll see how that goes. I have it in a small bottle over here. I make my perfume experiments in these small amber bottles. Yeah, this one right here. Yeah, my husband says it smells good. My son says it smells strong and sweet, but not his favorite. So I haven't compared it with this one for him. But I think this one's definitely better than mine, of course. But it's just an experiment. It's just a way of like learning about my materials by seeing like if I can see what might go into it in addition to the notes that are published for the perfume. So another of my favorites that I like to layer is Eternity Perfume. This is new. Eternity Perfume by Calvin Klein for men. Yeah. And then, you know, these two I like to layer together sometimes. This is Eternity for Men. And this is the Perfume. This is like a lighter version. So it kind of just adds a little something bright to it. So that's all. That's what I've been doing. I've been engaging in my perfume addiction by, you know, curating my cart on eBay, which is where I've been buying my vintage perfumes lately. And curating my cart, making a once a month purchase at most, and I'm only spending $100. It seems like a lot less than I have been for the last year, but I got myself into a little bit of financial trouble, you know, just credit card stuff that I need to pay off over time, which I hate doing. So I regret it, but everything will be fine, especially since I stopped buying. I did. I stopped buying. And I've mostly been stopped buying. Yeah. So thanks for letting me share. Thanks for watching the video. And if you like it, hit thumbs up. And of course, you're welcome to subscribe as well. All right. I'll talk to you hopefully as soon as I can.